Really happy to win tonight in a game that, easily could have been a trap for us coming off of Kansas. And with the big road game coming up later this week. I'll tell you, it was a really just a weird feeling in there, with no fans, which obviously is, out of anyone's control. I thought we really missed Kamaka and Royce as well, just their spirit that they bring to our team, both on the court and on the bench. But, I thought to start the game, some balls didn't go in for us. We weren't guarding as well as we needed to. And our guys did a good job settling in and attacking and, building a lead for us at halftime, which was obviously ended up being a big difference because we did not defend as well in the second half as we needed to. And Iowa State deserves a lot of credit. They made some really tough shots.
Thank you. We'll go ahead and start it off with Dustin.
Yeah, Shaka, just how would you assess the end of that game? On one hand, you guys have got a double-digit lead for a huge chunk of that game. And it never really seemed like you guys panicked. And on the other hand, Iowa State kind of was just hanging around and made it close at the end. Just how would you assess the way that game ended?
Well, the first thing is, when you have a lead, and this is just kind of my bias as a coach, but if you keep the other team from scoring, then you're not going to lose the lead. And so I think it starts with the defensive end, making things really, really, really hard on your opponent, which we've done at times this year really well. We did not do in the second half, the entire second half. And again, they deserve some credit because on a few of the possessions where we did defend really well, they still made the shot. So that is the first thing. And I think we had some offensive possessions where we kind of were caught in between trying to, manage the time and score, and then trying to put the ball in the basket. And they weren't the most fluid possessions. But I think our guys down the stretch, like I said, they didn't panic. Like you said, they didn't panic. They got the ball inbounds and got fouled. And I think we went 3 for 4 at the foul line down the stretch.
Yeah, like you mentioned, your bias is probably going to look towards the defensive end with these types of games. But offensively, it seems like you guys' confidence is growing. You mentioned pace in the half court, throwing the ball off the floor, things like that. It seems like these guys, their comfort level in moving the ball around to each other is really improving.
Well, it was kind of an up-tempo game for a while there, which I don't mind. I mean, it's good for our guys and puts them in position where they can attack, but they just have to make good decisions. I thought, only having 8 turnovers was a plus tonight. Obviously we didn't shoot the ball particularly well, and we had some possessions you'd like to have back, like Brock's layup there in the second half, and a couple that got knocked away from Greg in transition. You add some of those possessions up, and now it's 85 instead of 78, and that obviously gives you a wider margin. But I think on the possessions where we got good flow and good movement, we got pretty good looks.
Nick, go ahead.
Yeah, Shaka. I mean, we've seen him do it a few times this year, and he just looks super confident in the moment. When you need a bucket, it seems like y'all just give the ball to Matt and say, make something happen. What's it like just having him, year 4 as a senior, he's been through all the trials and tribulations, just knowing that he looks as confident as he can be out there. Do you sense that?
Yeah, he's really confident. I think sometimes, I would have liked to see him. He was playing so well early and attacking and getting in the paint so much. I want to see him do that for 40 minutes. But I think he got a little tired tonight, which is certainly understandable. I mean, he played heavy minutes. But, yeah, to be able to find it within himself to go make a big play there, that was the biggest shot for us, is big. And, that's where those 3 guards really are an asset for our team because Matt can do that. Andrew's the most natural scorer of the 3, and then Courtney makes big plays too.
Yeah, Andrew too looks like he's really turned a corner and he's just confident in terms of, creating shots both for himself and for everybody else. But, kind of when there was a little bit of offensive lull, he seemed like he stepped up and took charge and, just same sort of thing. Where's he at right now?
Yeah, he shot 20 balls, but, I'll look at the tape. I think they were good shots. I mean, I thought they were mostly good shots, and I liked his kind of energy out there. I thought that, he did a good job on the defensive end. So it's good to see him playing with energy. He's 3 for 9 from three. I have such high expectations for him. Every time he shoots a three, if it's a good three, I think it's going in. But we want him to keep taking good looks from out there.
Brian, you're up.
Shaka, looking at some of the wins y'all have had this year, including tonight, do you think y'all are transitioning from a team that hopes to win, fingers crossed, versus expects to win, put the hammer down and do it?
I think our guys definitely have more confidence to expect to win. I definitely felt that on Saturday. Our guys expected to win. And it's a fine line. I mean, as we like to tell the players as coaches, expect to win, but expect to do what goes into winning, and, largely our guys have done that. Don't like how we defended in the second half. There'll be a lot of things that we can take off that tape, but there was definitely a feeling out there from the guys, hey, we got this. We got this game under control. We certainly would have liked to, extend the lead further than we did. But, there's definitely that mindset out there.
And obviously this is only game 3 of a very long marathon. I mean, how are you going to manage the guys, with each win that, all the positive things pile up for them? How do you manage that? Hey, this has a long way to go.
Yeah. I mean, I think the last couple of days has been a really good lesson for them from that standpoint, because I guess not many people outside of our program thought we were going to win on Saturday. So, a bunch of people were surprised and conveyed that emotion to our players. But I thought, I would say we did a, B- job of handling that coming into tonight. Brian, I guess it all depends on the game. On Saturday, we go up to West Virginia. All we got to do is point to last year's debacle up there. That's one of the benefits of having so many guys back from last year, as we can talk about that, and they've been there. Now, that doesn't guarantee that you're going to win, but at least it's something that they can take, an experience they can take and hopefully bring the right mindset.
Nathan, go ahead.
Hey, Shaka, you played Kai and Jericho a lot on the court tonight together. Was it just a matchup thing, not having Royce? And what did you think of Jericho's game tonight?
I think Jericho's been really good last couple of games. I thought he was the best player on the floor up in Kansas from either team. When you combine offense and defense. And then in the first half, I thought he was phenomenal tonight. I think he had 8 points and 7 rebounds, or the other way around. Second half, a couple balls didn't go his way, but he's back to shooting a really high percentage these last couple games. And he's rebounding the ball really, really well. And he's always been a good defender for us and a big anchor there. So he's doing a good job. Kai, I thought had good energy today. I like playing those guys together. We even played tonight a little bit with Kai, Jericho, and Greg, which is a lineup that we may need on Saturday, against West Virginia, just because of their size and toughness and physicality.
Got 3 last questions in queue. We'll start with Cameron.
Hey, Coach, I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, but this is the first time that Texas has started 3-0 in conference play under you, and overall as a program since 2010, and now is really consistently winning those close games, the Oklahoma State tonight that in the past, were lost. What do you think the reason is for that? Is that just more experience, more talent?
I think we definitely have more experience than we've had. I think we have a confident group of guys that we do definitely have a talented group of guys. But, to me, it always comes down to how connected you are and the level of collective spirit you have relative to the other team, because they're trying to win too. And they got talent too. And they, are competitive as well. So I think overall through 10 games, our guys have done a good job of that. Now, this is just the beginning of conference play, and we got some real battles coming up. So our guys are going to have to understand, even when we don't feel 1,000% fresh as a daisy, going to have to find a way to be the toughest, meanest, most connected version of ourselves if we want to win.
Two last ones. Start with Joe.
Shaka, when you told Jericho and most of your other bigs, but Jericho specifically, that he was going to be fronting Solomon for a lot of the night, and then to see him provide the effort on both ends of the floor, how do you think he responded to that defensive challenge? And then, what does it say about him that he's doing that on both ends of the floor?
Well, I think, first of all, Solomon Young and the Iowa State coaching staff deserve a ton of credit for the development of his game, because the progress that he's made since he came in as a young player, he's one of the toughest matchups in our league now. And yeah, he had 13 and 8 tonight, but I thought our guys did a pretty good job. I mean, he made some tough shots, some really tough shots. I thought Jericho and Kai both did a pretty good job on him. So they fought. They did a good job of not fouling, which is important. We fouled them like 79 times last year up in Ames in that game. So it was a much better job of playing aggressive post defense without fouling.
Last one, Cedric, you're up.
West Virginia's a big team. Shaka, very physical with length. And you mentioned that big lineup with Greg, Jericho, and Kai. What have you seen from them here recently with the energy, especially Kai coming out of nowhere for that big block to let you know that they're ready for this challenge?
Well, Kai Jones, man, I mean, he's got such an incredible spirit when he's at his best and when he's right. I mean, I'm talking about one of the best, probably top 3 I've ever been around when he's in that clear-minded space, and you can see it on his face. I mean, you can see it. So we need that, and it obviously he's a thinner guy. He's not the strongest guy in the world, but when he's got that energy and that bounce to him and that look to him, he plays with really good toughness and strength, even though, he's probably not moving a ton of weight in the weight room. I think that Greg he's just learning, man. I mean, these games are so valuable for him, and we're going to look at the tape. And I mean, there's no fans here. So we're just screaming at him for most of the game to do certain things better. But that's what he needs. He needs to be coached hard. He needs to be held to a standard. He is improving. And we need him to keep growing.